So far, we've only talked about one type of variable, and that is a string variable. And we know string variables hold words, they hold letters. The big example we've been using is we've been creating characters, and we've been wanting to store their name or store their race or store their role, whatever it may be. Although we know is it's words, we don't know what it's going to be, but we know it's going to be a word, so we use a string variable. And if we knew what it was beforehand, we could say we could initialize our variable to have a value. Of course, we almost don't always know what the name is going to be, but in some cases we do actually know where the starting value is. Let's talk about a new type of variable. Let's shift away from words and letters, and let's talk about numbers. For example, maybe my character has a health, right? Standard game, you have a health of 100, and your health fluctuates. Sometimes it increases, sometimes it decreases. So if I want to create a variable to store a number, I'm almost always not going to use a string, although I could. What's best to use is a int. And int is short for integer. Now, if I wanted to create this variable to store the user's health, I'm going to use an integer variable, and let's give them an initial health. Let's start their health out at 100. So notice the difference here. When you're dealing with strings and words, you always use those quotations. But now if we start talking about numbers, you can just straight up use the number. You don't need those quotations. So now you know two different types of variables. You have a variable for storing words, and you have a variable for storing numbers. Now, for all you math whiz out there, integers are numbers, but they can only be a certain number. Integers cannot be decimals. You cannot have decimals in integers. So integers are whole numbers, both positive and negative. So yes, they can be negative, they can be positive, but they just can't be decimals. And we don't need to worry about that just yet. So the beautiful thing about integer variables, or variables that hold numbers, is that we can do math with these variables. So for example, if my health started at 100, maybe I'm going to attack, or maybe I'm going to get attacked if I'm kind of doing a first person view here. So I'm going to create a button to attack. And when I click this button, well, I'm going to attack, or someone's going to attack me, so my health should go down. I'm confusing myself as I say this. Let's say enemy health is 100. So I'm going to attack the enemy. So when I click the attack button, I want to lower their health. So how would I go about doing that? Well, I could say health, because I want to change the health variable. And let's say I want to do 10 points of damage. So you might be inclined to say, well, their health started at 100, and if I attack, they should go down to 90. You don't want to do that. You want to do it this way. So each time I attack, I want to take 10 damage, or I want to take 10 health away. So I'm going to minus equals 10. That means go down by 10. So each time I click the attack button, my health is decreasing by 10. We can't see this yet because I haven't set up my program to show you, but the health is 100 and I click the button, it's 90, it's 80, it's 70, it's 60, it's 50. I should probably update my user and let them know what their new health is, because behind the scenes health is decreasing, but the user doesn't know where their health is at this moment. So what I could do is that label I have on my screen, I could change the text of it, and I could say enemy health is, I'm not going to put 100, I will put the enemy health is, so I'll put the words just as they are, but I'm not going to type 100. I can find what their actual health is by using the variable, right? Because that's a variable. It's storing that information for me. I don't need to know what their health is. I just use the variable and out will pop the health of the enemy at that specific time. So now with these two lines of codes working in junction, I can attack, and you can see that the health is decreasing by 10. And not only that, but the user is being updated each time on their new health. So that's the beautiful thing of integer variables, is that you can do math with them. You can't do math with string variables. You can't do math with words, but you can certainly do math with numbers.